Welcome back to The Pulse. This afternoon, we're asking, why is Ghana underdeveloped? That's a question many Ghanaians have been seeking answers to for many decades. Leadership and management consultant with the University of Viterbo in the USA, Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi, says Ghana's leadership style is outdated and the reason for the slow pace of development. I mean, he's been speaking to JoyNews in Accra. We'll be speaking to that professor of leadership and management at the university, and he will be telling us more after this one.
Professor of Leadership and Management in the USA, Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi, has donated 10 copies of his book to the Sandler's Advanced Leadership Training Institute in Ghana. In his book, he explored the type of leadership used by individuals. Speaking on the size of the donation, Professor Antwi said Ghana's leadership is out of touch and can be compared to that of the 16th century. He blamed the current slow pace of development on the leadership style leaders resort to.
The book is titled 7 Leaders, the Greatest Among Us from Theory to Practice. This is why. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere. The state of our leadership is still at the 16th century, what Machiavelli said. So we are 500 years behind in leadership, which is really strange.
Professor Antwi hopes his donation will help the institute train more prudent and responsible leaders in the country.
The reason why I donated my books, 10 copies, to the SALT Institute is that when I finished writing it, somebody contacted me that 7 leadership is something that SALT Institute are passionate about. And I decided to connect with them in Ghana, get 10 of them to the library so that their students can read and then understand it. So I want this to motivate them to raise world changers who are 7 leaders. And that's why I did that. So it's just a seed I've sown, and I know it's going to reach out to most places and most institutions in Africa.
Receiving the books on behalf of the Sandler's Advanced Leadership Training Institute, the registrar of the institute, Michael Ama, took a swipe at the leadership in the country. He believes that Africa is at the point where it needs what he terms leader transformation.
It's obvious to us that, in our country where there's a lot of nepotism, in our country there's a lot of people don't show very altruistic characteristics when they find themselves in places of power. They think about the self rather than the people they serve. A leader is supposed to serve. Leadership is service. If you're placed in a place of authority, your responsibility is to see that the persons who give you the mandate, those persons, their ideals and their aspirations they have are met. Not to amass wealth onto yourself at the expense of the poor taxpayer. But this is what we see happening in our country. And we believe that Africa is at a point where we have to bring about this needed transformation. If it doesn't happen, too bad. Then we'll continue lagging behind other countries and other continents.
Reporting for JoyNews.
There's more on this because there's a discussion coming up, finding answers to the question, why is Ghana underdeveloped? And that's something we'll be looking at and seek to get answers for you, because we know you've also been asking that questions all this while, looking for answers. Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi will be joining us for that discussion. We'll take a break. When we return. All right, so Professor Enoch Opoku is on for the conversation. Prof, I'm grateful for your time. Let me put it directly to you. Why is Ghana underdeveloped?
Ghana is underdeveloped because we have poor political followership, which has really gagged our leaders. So the problem is the path, the journey to leadership in Ghana is gagged by greedy political followership. So before we solve the leadership problem, we should also solve the political followership problems.
Political followership problems. If you talk about political followership problems, what exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking exactly about delegates that select our leaders. You know, every leader leading and facing to what the followers want. So if you come to America, the leaders know exactly what the people want. If I'm a mayor or if I'm a governor and the roads are bad and I cannot fix it, somebody will come to your office and tell you that, hey, if you can't do the job, leave. For others who can do the job to come and do it. But in our place, everybody is looking for money from these political leaders. I did my PhD dissertation on political leadership and followership in Africa, and it's about corruption. And what I found was very simple. Those who elect our leaders corrupt them along the way. So if you look at the earlier leaders of Africa, Jomo Kenyatta, if you look at Nyerere and Nkrumah and the others, they all had clear intention traveling abroad and seeing what is happening outside. But when they came in, they were choked by the people for corruption. So if you go to Kenya now, the Kikuyus, which is the tribe of Jomo Kenyatta and now his son, Uhuru Kenyatta, have 60% of the land that they own. What happened along the way? The internal journey and the outward journey of that process of leadership have been corrupted by the people expectation of those leaders.
So what are the key areas which we should focus our attention on in our bid to make progress in Ghana?
Well, that is very simple. If we fix corruption and then get good leaders among us to lead us, we fix 80% of the problem. All the problem of Africa is leadership. Chinua Achebe said that there's nothing wrong with our land, there's nothing wrong with our environment, there's nothing wrong with anything except exemplary leadership. So to solve all the problem, we've seen what is happening with the new IGP. You see that one person can change a whole lot of institutions. So that's what we need. We need leaders who are servant leaders, who will serve first and then lead second. Leaders who will listen, leaders with empathy, leaders who will heal the people, leaders who are aware of the problems we have, leaders who will persuade our people for a common good, leaders who will conceptualize with new ideation, leaders who have a foresight, leaders who are stewards with themselves, with God and the environment and their neighbors. And then we need commitment to the growth of the people and leaders who build community.
So all you're saying is that the followers of the politicians should begin to ask tough questions. If they're not giving us those answers, we should kick them out. Is that what you're saying?
The followers are corrupted more than the leaders. Because before a leader becomes a leader in Africa, now research has shown that if you want to become a president, let's say in Ghana, you need to spend not less than $2 million. In campaigning, where do you get a $2 million from? Individuals are going to give you A, B, C, D money. Now, once they do that, you are indebted to them, right? So let's take an example of Africa, why we are not developing in the first place. We depend on these wires for loans. Now, if somebody is giving you money for food, clothing, and shelter, they have taken your brain away from you. So we think we're smart. We come into white people, oh, give us loan this. We write proposals. You know, the proposal look as if we are dying so that they give us money and we share the money. The whites know what they are getting from us. That is why we are not developing. They will tell you that they know what we have, we don't know what they have. We have everything except leadership, the brains to turn those resources around for our people. But the whites don't have anything. I live in Wisconsin in the US where it is snowing almost 9 months of the year, but they have only 3 months to grow corn and legumes and they export the rest to us. We have a whole year to grow those things. What are we doing with our brains?
So what would you recommend we move away from here? Certainly we cannot be here forever and ever.
We need to get the right leaders.
And how do we do that?
We need servant leaders, people who want to serve first and lead second, those who are not in for empty glories. So we need people who have deep commitment to listen to the concerns of the people who are problem solvers, leaders who are very honest with themselves, leaders who are focused on what they're able to accomplish, leaders who lead or lend a hand to the people. Now look at what is happening in Bogoso. In any advanced country, if you have an explosive car driving on the road, you have 3 cars in front with red flags and 3 at the back with red flags showing that, look, these are explosive, so you can never overtake that car unless they see. But in Africa, we have made life cheap. Instead that until something happens, we don't work on that. Those are not leadership. In leadership, you anticipate for a problem before they happen. But unfortunately, we are not doing that. Look at our land allocation. Where is the leadership there? Lands have been sold to different people. There's everything. People build anywhere. You see, where is the leadership in there? People are doing Sakawa. People are doing money dumpling on TV and radio. Where is the leadership? What is our parliament doing to make laws to fix those problems? In leadership, you solve problems. If you cannot solve problems, get away and let those who want to solve the problem come in and solve the problems.
But more important is the people who are supposed to be holding these leaders accountable, who you say are more corrupt than the leaders. Why do you think this is so?
It is so because the situation is that people are also suffering. I've been in Ghana for over 4 months. I just returned. The people are suffering. You know, they have no food, they have no clothing, and they have no place to lay their head. So in that desperate situation, any money that you give to them, 50 Ghana, 20 Ghana, they accept it. Now, if I'm a leader and I am supposed to be providing food, clothing, and shelter for a lot of people, it means that my mind to think about policies for the common good is not there. Now, Aisha, let me tell you this. No country develops without a public good. So the public goods are roads, we are talking about street lights, we're talking about water system. These are all public goods provided by governments of every country. Now, the private sector can only develop on the public good. So without any public good, there cannot be any private good. And if individuals are thinking about their pockets, churches want you to buy 50 bags of cement for them, and everybody is thinking about themselves, then the public good is left unattended to. So we should be thinking about good roads, good water system, all these good systems. You don't need to give individuals money. So if I come to you, the political follower, and say, get 50 Ghana cedis and vote for me, tell that leader that take that money and go fix our bridge. Take that money and go fix our road. When we all begin to think about the common good of our society, but not ourselves, that is the only way we can develop.
I'm grateful for your time, Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi. He's a leadership and management consultant, and he says if the leaders are not fixing the problems, kick them out.